The Great Wave Off Kanagawa, created in 1831 by Hokusai, is transformed from its humble woodblock prints into Lego form, forever immortalizing one of Japan's greatest masterpieces into Lego's catalog. This Lego set is included in the new adult series with 1,810 pieces at a $100 sale price. When completed, the set is 52 centimeters wide with a 39 centimeters height, but don't let the size concern you because you can just easily hang it up for display. This set includes a few base plates to help construct the actual artwork itself, and 15 bags of pieces. 1 through 11 deal with the artwork itself, while bags 12 to 15 help construct the frame on the outside that holds it all together. LEGO also offers a soundtrack via QR code to help accompany you while you build the set. I thought it was going to be wave sounds and music, but it was just a podcast talking about the set and the art piece. I quickly turned it off because that shit was boring. And with the last bag of pieces on the table and instruction manuals, let's dig into the set. And here we have it, the finished Great Wave Off Kanagawa. Now, let's talk about the build first. This build comes in two parts. You have the frame and you have the artwork. The frame itself is pretty much nothing but Technic pieces that go all the way around for support and for structural. And you just kind of coat it with these wonderful, wonderful flat tile pieces, which helps offset the more stuzzy design of the actual artwork pieces. It reminds me very much of the DB5 Aston Martin, which I really enjoy. So this pretty much is a beautiful piece, and I just really like flat tile work. You don't get that a lot, and here you get it. Moving on to the actual artwork itself. Now, this was said to be a very relaxing and tranquil moment for a build. You know, you're supposed to sit back, relax, and listen to that podcast and just lose yourself into the artwork. I beg to differ. Fuck. This was actually very chaotic, and I didn't really enjoy it as much. We'll say the actual skyline itself was more, it was kind of annoying having to do all those pieces. But when you get to the actual wave, it was very fantastic just to watch this transform from Legos to a piece of art. Now, you do get a few printed pieces. You get some sailors who are about to meet their doom, and they're actually smiling, so that's pretty funny. And then you get two printed pieces over here with the name of the artwork, and then you actually get the name of the artist over here. Now, interesting fact, since in Japan they usually read from right to left, sometimes this is printed over or backwards, but it is made this way, but you can print it back this way so it can be read correctly, but this is done exactly the way it's done. So that's really enjoyable. Also, it's also nice to notice the colors they use in this really try to match up the original colors used in the actual original woodblock print. Now, with that original woodblock print, it's kind of interesting to know they use I think it was a Prussian blue, as I remember, or crimson blue, I think was it called. I'll probably correct it in the video, but that's what they use mainly for the wave. And when this was printed, I think it's like over 8,000 original prints of it, you can tell which the print was the earlier done by what colors show up on the print, because the sky, which is done in this lovely, lovely, lovely salmon pink, is actually the first part to disappear with overuse of printing. So in older prints of the actual artwork, you don't have the sky as much, but the earlier ones you do. So when you're trying to age them, you can kind of look through that and do it. I think the art museum in Chicago has one of the earlier prints, and it still has the sky intact, which the sky does. So you have this wonderful, wonderful salmon color here coming down, which is all done on salmon plates, which are those really heavy plates to put down for the actual base of the artwork. And then it comes black on the bottom here, and it just kind of transforms because you want to see Mount Fuji in the background and you want to get the wave. Now, the wave is done with a lot of gribbling to kind of capture the actual wave, which I think they did an okay job, and we'll get more into that in a little bit second. But yes, they did a lot of gribbling here just to kind of get the details and get the flow and the foam off the water. I think that's foam is what it's called. Or is that when it's breaking the threshold? I don't know. I'm not a marine biologist. They use this wonderful, 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 nice baby blue on top of the navy blue, which really does, kind of give you that wave, the water turning colors as it moves in the wave, as it goes in movement. It's very well. The boats themselves are okay. I'm not really hating them. They're fine. They are, I feel like they're a little off. I feel like this whole thing's just a little off, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. But yes, overall the build was actually pretty chaotic at times and stressful, but it does really come out very beautiful at the end. I do like the base plates they use to kind of give the more color to the sky, because you're just going to keep using these one by ones right here, the flat tile work. But other than that, it is pretty interesting. Now let's just go over to overall presentation of the actual piece itself. Now, I already kind of fangirled over the color use and some of the gribbling work here, but I can honestly say that I don't know if it actually looks just like the Wave Off Kanagawa. I mean, you're not going to get that full detail. Obviously, you see these 1x1 studs here, trying to mimic the lines that are breaking through the actual wave itself. And obviously, you're going to get some of the clouds lost. It looks very much 8-bit, which I kind of actually enjoy. And it's looking up close, it's really cool. You definitely try to see more of the colors breaking here with Mount Fuji, trying to get that overcast because it is storming, I believe, a little bit into this actual photo. And that's actually very wonderful to see that. And I like Mount Fuji in the middle. It doesn't really take the show, but it's not supposed to. The Great Wave is, and it just really ties in everything well together. Now, I can say up close, it is a little bit wonky. I think if I take my glasses off and if I walk away from it from a little bit, it looks a little bit better. It just depends on the angle you get it. When you get up close to it, it definitely does have a nice 3D. You see the texture design, you see the way the wave it forms. And it's actually kind of cool because it is Lego. You do have that aspect with it, so you get that 3D-ness of it, and it really pops out to you. But if you were to walk away from the actual artwork and come at a different angle, it looks very much just like it would be on a woodblock printing or maybe a piece of paper, which I think that's really cool. You know, you have those different perspectives when you look away from it. Now, definitely, I'm blind as a bat, so when I take my glasses off, it looks pretty damn good. If anything, it's a more pixelated version of the actual artwork itself. So I think Lego did a really actual fantastic job in trying to bring that to Lego form, that actual masterpiece of the art. So the only real complaint I have to say is just the boats themselves. I do not think they are as accurate as we could have gotten them, and I think they tried their best to try and incorporate them with the rest of the waves. The waves themselves, they do their best what they can. You can't go as high detail with it unless you were to stretch out the image, but presentation all-wise, I think it's very fantastic. And like earlier, like I was saying, if you were to actually have this in a way that most Japanese people were to read from right to left, you could possibly, if anything, do this again, but have it flipped and inverted overwise so you can have it a more accurate look. But this is accurate to what the actual artwork is, so it's actually pretty wonderful, and I really enjoy it. So overall, I think the presentation, with the limitations that Lego has, is done very well. It's more of a translation thing you have here. You know, if you're very familiar with Japanese culture, and especially when it's brought over to America and it's translated, you lose a lot of stuff in translation. And of course, in this build, you do lose a lot of stuff in translations. You don't get the amounts of detail of the wave. You don't get some of the more details of Mount Fuji in the background, and you lose some of the boats, but that's okay, because when you're translating it from the actual original print to Lego, you're going to lose some stuff, and that's okay, because you have to, when you transcribe it, you have limitations. But I think in this translation, if this was a dub of a popular anime, this right here would be a pretty solid dub. Not Cowboy Bebop level dub, but this would be a pretty solid dub in my honest opinion. It's a very good attempt by Lego here to really capture the beauty of the Great Wave Off Kanagawa, and they do it very splendidly in 1,810 pieces. And to help display this Lego artwork, you do have some help from Technic pieces right here and here, which you can just put some nails in the walls or screws and just hang it on. Those are the same kind of pieces they use for the Lego Batwing, which is currently sitting on my wall at the moment. Very sturdy like, and I think it would look very well. I actually also have this on a little back end right piece right here to just hold it up in place, which I think is fantastic, because if you are lacking some space in your home, you can just put this on the wall or put it on your desk or something like that and just enjoy the masterpiece that is the Great Wave Off Kanagawa. And like I said earlier, you have these Technic rods here, the axle pieces, which are pretty much holding it in spot, and you can just take these off like that to remove it and pop it out. In case you don't want the frame and you just want to keep the main piece in the middle, that's fine as well. But it's very sturdily in there, and it will hold for a while. And I think that if it was to fall off the wall, it would actually survive some of the fall itself, because it just feels very sturdy. The frame would take most of the hits. You might lose some gribbling from the actual art piece itself, but that's okay. It looks like it's in safe hands. Overall, Lego's The Great Wave Off Kanagawa is a wonderful addition to anyone's Lego collection. For $100, you get a unique build experience, which hopefully brings you more piece per piece than it did for me. Don't let the size worry you, for it's really easy to display and store as you get to own a rendition of this Japanese masterpiece. This has been Scott, those were the bricks, and that was the review. Thank you for all the support as always, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to always comment. I love and enjoy talking to people, and let me know if there's any set that you want me to review next. And like always, thanks!